If I've learned anything at my job stocking shelves, it's that the harder you look for something, the less likely you are to find it. I can't count how many times I went through every nook and cranny just to realize that the thing I was looking for was 3 inches away from me, and I felt like a complete jackass. You're probably laughing at me and calling me a retard for sharing this story, but you've probably done the same thing. How many times have you torn apart the entire living room because you couldn't find the remote that was in one of the cushions? And that's because people, we like to overcomplicate shit, and we're always in the pursuit of something. We're so focused on the shit we're chasing, we don't see what's right in front of us until it's too late. The chase of love, happiness, validation, and pleasure will never stop, and that's why you have to stop chasing it. It's an infinite cycle that will only tear you apart in the end. What I'm trying to say is, you'll never find love and happiness. You have to recognize it when it comes to you. The happiest times of my life didn't come from me following some master calculated plan. It came from me just doing whatever felt natural and right in the moment and not forcing shit. We've all done that corny shit where we practice what we're gonna say to our crush in the mirror. And guess what, man? That shit never fucking works because it's way too calculated and robotic, and you're stiff and you're just not being natural to the other person. You're not being a human being, you're acting like a character in a movie or a show, and it just won't work. You can't try to make relationships, you can't try to make friendships. They just happen or they don't. Trying to script out something as unpredictable as life is inherently flawed. You can't create the waves that life gives you, but you control how you ride them. That's all you can do. The constant chase of validation made me miserable for almost a decade without me even realizing it. Everything I did or said was either to piss someone off or to make someone feel impressed by me. And both are pretty pathetic ways to create an identity. It took me forever to realize that chasing validation would always make me miserable. Yeah, there might be some happy moments along the way, but it's ultimately something that's out of my control that I'm basing my entire life on. My actions would never be for self-fulfillment, it would just always be an attempt for someone to like me. Since I was 13, I had a dream to be an artist like Donald Glover and to make music and film. While that dream hasn't necessarily changed, my reason for doing so absolutely has. When I was 13, I did it to stick it to the people who ostracized anyone who was different from them at my school. When I was 16, I did it so people would think I'm cool and creative. And when I was 19, I did it because I wanted to prove a point that we don't need college to be successful. The truth is, I wanted to make this art so I would feel validated instead of just trying to make what I liked. But the sad truth is, I never did it because I enjoyed the process of doing it. 8 years into my process, I'm finally learning that I can just do something without receiving validation from others. And I'm finally learning to just enjoy the process of expressing myself. And look, I'm not saying to be some stoned bum who walks around doing nothing all day, but you need to relax and just let the process happen sometimes. We tend to think of love and happiness as these very complex and nuanced topics that no one can really understand, but I don't know if that's true. I just think we're bad at recognizing it when it crosses our path. We're so used to expecting these grand gestures, buying your significant other a car or some shit. But we don't appreciate when they remember little things about us. And that's the problem. You're not gonna wake up one day with $1 million in your bank account and a super hot wife or husband. But that doesn't mean that your life sucks. That doesn't mean that you're cursed. That doesn't mean that you're doomed. Bro, have you seen a sunset in the summertime? That shit is fucking dope. We can be happy about that. Yeah, it's not gonna solve all your problems, but you can still enjoy it in the moment. We don't have to follow the rainbow to the pot of gold to achieve our happiness. We just have to make the best out of what we have each day, and we'll just be happy enough in those moments. And maybe that sounds boring to you, but all I know is, the more you look, the less you find.